Hey boys, today is the very final update to my build. This is just a preface about 1.5 meters. This is not cheap, it has mageblood, so keep that in mind. But yeah, a lot of people been asking me, what about mageblood? What do you think of mageblood? What to do with mageblood? What you can do with mageblood is two things. You can squeeze out some extra DPS, but you should probably switch to a crit build for that. This is non-crit, still elemental overload. Or you can just slap a lot of extra increased item rarity. This is exactly what I've done. Basically, the gist of it is now I have mageblood, I have a gold flask somewhere here, and then I have Venter's Gamble as well. I have increased rarity support, and this build can run tier 17 maps very comfy, very well. It can do Uber bosses as well, but keep in mind you're probably going to use some portals. I mean, it depends on the Uber boss that you're fighting. Exarch is going to be easier, like Uber Eater, it can be a bit rippy in my experience. So yeah, it all depends. Let's go over to pub building, gonna go over the build, and then I'm gonna quickly showcase how it looks in tier 17 maps, which is, I guess, what you're looking to run if you're running a build like this. Some things to keep in mind: the DPS obviously dropped. A lot of the DPS drop comes from the item rarity. If you put back the awakened lightning pen, then the DPS actually goes back up. So you can run this build either with item rarity on your gem, or you can run it normally with awakened lightning pen. Basically, the showcases you're gonna see are the 5-link version plus item rarity. But it depends on you. I mean, I'm also gonna go and discuss a bit why item rarity might not be the best for this version particularly. But yeah, basically the gist of it is, what I've done is I've got mageblood, and then I've got some flasks for it. So we have gold flask, jade, silver, and amethyst. Amethyst for the chaos res, gold flask for the item rarity, silver for some DPS and just speed. Jade, I mean, it's evasion rating, so that helps a bit with survivability. Now, Quicksilver is not really important for this build because you spend a lot of time dashing around, blinking, etc. So you probably don't really care that you don't have Quicksilver. In my experience, even before Mageblood, you can probably swap Quicksilver out for something else. Silver is very good though, very important. So I've got Mageblood, I've got the flasks, and then I've swapped one ring out for Venter's Gamble. You want a Venter like this, and this Venter I got for something pretty cheap. I think I bought it for something like 10 divs, so it wasn't crazy expensive for sure. But you can get it for cheaper. I mean, the increased mana reservation efficiency doesn't really matter. So you can take a cheaper one and perhaps resist. I mean, I just fit a pretty high res on my Venter, so that's one thing to keep in mind. I'm just going to disable this flask so we can see that's what the rest looks like. Perhaps you can play around with it and fit some more increased item rarity in this build by lowering res. Magic Find has diminishing returns as far as I'm aware, so honestly I didn't really min-max to put like as much MF as I could because I already have like 200%. Now, Oriath Sand, so this helps with clearing, but quite a lot of mobs you're gonna kill are not, because it's gonna die due to this flask, it's not really gonna get the item rarity from the gem. Now, the difference between the mob killed by Ice Nova Frostbolts in this case and the mob killed by the flask is gonna be 176 to like 240% MF. So look, it's not a huge gap, which is why I've left this flask still. This is not like the whole build relies on this like subtle difference in Magic Find. But if you want to swap this flask out, you can probably fit something like Progenesis, or you can fit another utility flask. This flask helps with clearing a lot, so I've just left it out. Apart from that, there's no change from my previous version really. I mean, we still have the utmost, so this is still spell suppress capped. That's quite an important gist. This is what the tree looks like. Some things to consider if you're trying to reach some, if you have some gaps in resists, or if you have some gaps in your like chaos res or LA res. These nodes are for chaos res. You could take them if you really need to, or you could apply it to 2 that gives you chaos res as well. Keep in mind that it's a 2, I mean, it's gonna take away from your int, but it's probably better than swapping out a mana node for this node alone. For LA res, you could also take these nodes. They I mean, this node gives you quite a lot of LA res, but it also gives you some elemental damage. So if you really need it, you can take a node like this to reach your elemental res, and you could also grab some chaos res from either here, or you could grab it from placing a tattoo on your intelligence. Now another thing, I have this node here. This is because the mageblood I got is only 37 to dex, so it rolls up to 50. Check with your path of building before getting the mageblood, and then get the mageblood that fits your dexterity requirements. Don't be like me. The only reason I have that node is because I got this mageblood for some reason. Alright, I forgot, I couldn't be swapping it, but yeah, basically consider that with a better mageblood, this node you can also take off, and then if you take off this node, I mean, you could put it somewhere else. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Apart from that, it's pretty straightforward. Once again, if you have issues reaching spell suppress cap, take some more of these nodes, maybe unallocate some of these mana nodes. It's pretty straightforward. I haven't price checked at the time of the recording, but I got this Utmost for about 300 div, I got this Mageblood for 200 div. These ones are not that expensive, except the enchant, that was like 100 div each. All in all, I think probably like a mirror and a half. Does all content very comfortably. I don't really feel like there's a need to get better items on this build. If you really want to min-max your DPS, you probably want to go for the crit version, not this version, because the crit version relies on the crit related mods on the rings, for example, and basically you swap out some res on your rings for crit related mods. Anyways, that's a completely different build. For this build alone, I don't really think there's significant upgrades. One more thing as well, in my helmet I'm running Voltaxic burst, so this does similar stuff to the flasks, and yes, they do work together if basically both explosions apply, so long as the explosions are of a different type, which is what we're seeing here. Basically what it means, if you run 2 flasks, then only 1 explosion will work, but if you run a flask and this gem, then you have 2 explosions, you have even better clear. Voltaxic burst is, I like to have in my helmet. I think this is kind of an underrated tech, but, and yeah, it does work with the flask. I don't think I'll be posting any updates to this build anymore. But if you have any questions, you can reach out to me via the comment section. You can come hang out on my stream as well. I try to stream daily, but not always I can fit it in my schedule. Also, you can message me in the game. I have my in-game tag in the YouTube channel description. So if you have some problems with your build, reach out. I'll try to help you out. No problem with that at all. Thanks for watching. Probably the next videos is maybe I'll try to post about different build. I was thinking of making some videos about the cheaper builds that can run tier 17s on really a low budget. Perhaps I'll make an Archmage video like that. Anyways, yeah, thanks for watching. See you later.